Artem Lobov's training partner is back. Conor McGregor taking on Dustin Poirier in a rematch from a fight from 6 years ago where Conor flatlined Dustin like he said he would, typical Mystic Mac fashion, in less than a round. I think it was like 90 seconds or so. So, do you see this rematch going any differently? How do you see Dustin Poirier now that he's fighting at 155 faring against Conor? Because Conor is looking focused, motivated Conor. We see the memes. So, what are your thoughts on this one? Because Dustin is an evolved fighter, but so is Connor. So how do you break down this meat event?
Yeah, no, it's like how you point out, the memes are rolling. You got a motivated Connor, you have the new and evolved Dustin Prober, but I hate to say it, but I mean, I don't like saying I'm a mark, but it's hard not to be a Connor mark. I don't know who isn't a Connor mark. I mean, look at our logo. I mean, it's a Connor Meat Boy, that is for sure. And so I think Connor's gonna get it done. Call it Meat Boy, Mac, Mystic Meat, whatever you want to call it. He's gonna get it done. 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and I think he's gonna crush him just like the first time. I saw the interviews. I saw the weigh-ins, the face-offs. It seems like Dustin's haunted by this and it's still in his head, and everyone keeps bringing it up, and it makes me think that it's mentally messing with him. And I think also people sleep on Conor McGregor's skill, and I think he's way better than what people are giving him credit for because he's not active. But I mean, we saw the light, easy work he did at Donald Cerrone. I think it's going to be similar, but also I'm excited to see a full-out war, but I still think Connor's going to get it done stylistically. I think he's the better striker. I don't see a cardio issue at all, especially at 155, 170, different story, right? But 155, I think he gets it done very convincingly.
It's super interesting that you kind of described his skill set as almost underrated, which sort of sounds like a crazy thing because he's the biggest star that this sport has ever had. He's a global sports icon, but it does seem like a lot of probably the more casual fans might attribute that to his rhetorical craft and his ability to, whip up just amazing lines. I mean, we saw the Helwani interview this week when he said, hard things become easy when you commit yourself fully. I mean, the guy just has a succinct way of talking, and it's hard not to be a mark, like you said. So I wonder how many casual fans think that he's this icon, this legend that he is, specifically because of that craft. Because I tend to think that his skills are a little underrated, as strange as that may seem. He literally is that good, and it's not just all talk. It's not all just show. This guy goes out there, picks his shots, does what he wants, and fulfills, what seemed like wild claims with what looks like relative ease. So uh, I'm with you on this one. I think Connor's going to get this done. You mentioned Poirier being haunted, perhaps, and we know he was in that fight 6 years ago. He'd be the first one to tell you that he cared too much about what people were thinking about him, and he was taking all the criticism to heart. And Connor was, this brash, trash talking guy that was, really, threatening P head Dustin. So you wonder if those remnants will be lingering from that 6 year ago affair. I do think that Dustin Prover is a much more mature fight at this point in his career. He's picked up amazing wins since then, and even Connor was acknowledging how impressive it was for Dustin to return in the fashion he did, go on that run at lightweight, culminating with an interim belt over Max Holloway, who we just saw last week look incredible against Calvin Cater. So we know Dustin Poirier has the skill set to beat a lot of guys, most guys in the UFC, but you just wonder if he has the tools, both physically and mentally, to take out a guy like Conor McGregor. So how do you see Conor getting this done? He says it's going to happen in less than 60 seconds. He always picks his shot and is called Mystic Mac for a reason. Is there any way he calls this again?
I think there is, and that's another thing too is, I think with Dustin, he keeps talking. I heard him in an interview where also he was saying, I was excited to, fight in an arena with no people because he likes it being just him in the fight and more focused. So I could see the distractions. And I mean, if you've been to a live event, you know the fans are no joke. Now imagine that times 20 because of Conor's there. The fans, even if they're not Conor fans, they're still going crazier just because Conor's there. So that presence of Conor, that pressure of Conor, the fame and everything that comes after that that could happen. I don't know if Dustin is mentally ready for that, and that's just a lot to handle as just a human being in general. So I think Conor's gonna get it done. And Conor was saying he wants to show his striking and velocity and power. I think he's gonna get it done with a head kick, and then everyone's gonna go, "You're not the best boxer," because I think that would just be
Yeah.
hilarious. But also. He's probably just going to get a nice little elbow, maybe even a shoulder check. But yeah, I think he's going to get it done in the 60 seconds. I'm excited to see the canvas that he paints this weekend.
You mentioned the crowd, and there is going to be a limited capacity. So this brand new Etihad Arena seats over 55,000 people, but there's only going to be about 2,000 fans in the building, as far as I'm aware. So there's definitely going to be vast pockets, and it's going to be a quieter arena than the prototypical madhouse that is a Conor McGregor fight. Does that at all change your thoughts on it, or could there be no fans, 100,000 fans? Conor versus Dustin is going one way only.
Yeah, no fans, 100,000 fans, 10 fans. I think either way, Dustin Prober, the Meat Boy Mac is gonna show them why he's called Mystic Mac for a reason.
Yeah, and we love Dustin Poirier. Like, don't no mistakes there. And if he were to pull off this win over Conor McGregor, that'd be amazing. That'd be incredible because no guy deserves a win like that more than Dustin Poirier. Because the guy's just a great dude, great ambassador for the sport. Has done such amazing things outside the cage with his Good Fight Foundation, and just a guy who's very easy to root for. You mentioned earlier the supposed cardio issues of Conor. I kind of am with you. I think that's a little overblown. I mean, he went 30 minutes in a sport he'd never done before with supposedly the greatest of all time, Floyd Mayweather. So there was the one issue, the welterweight debut against Nate Diaz, but those circumstances were quite different, and I think the cardio issues are a little bit of a myth, and I think Conor kind of feels slighted when it's brought up. One last question I do have for you. You mentioned Conor maybe landing a head kick or some shoulder strikes, some elbows. Do you think that Dustin Poirier, I think he's going to want to scrap on the feet for sure in the beginning, but if he survives, at 155, those early heavy shots, feels the power of Conor, is there any way he tries to shoot for a takedown and implement his BJJ game? And if he does somehow get Conor to the mat, how do you see the jiu-jitsu matchup going? Because we haven't seen Conor's jiu-jitsu too recently, but we know it's there, and Dustin's got some legit skills too. Anyway, this fight touches the mat.
Yeah, no, I mean, if it goes to the mat, I think Connor. I mean, he even says, I think in an interview where he would relish that, for going to the mat to maybe even throw him in a submission, which I would love to see Connor throw a submission. That'd be
Same.
insane. And he does train with, some of the best. Hate him or love him, but
Dylan Denise.
Dylan Denise is no joke when it comes to the grappling, indeed. But I mean, look at Mini Mendez. Connor did very nice, beautiful work on the ground. And if it goes to the ground, I think Connor is going to smoke him from the bottom, from the top, wherever it is. I think Connor's going to have it done.
Yeah, those bows from the bottom that he landed on Mini Mendez were a thing of beauty. So I'm super excited for this fight. Obviously, tough not to mark out for Conor McGregor, and wherever this fight goes, whether it stays on the feet for a short distance or is a back and forth grueling affair where we see all aspects of these truly legendary fighters games. I'm ready for whatever we're about to see. So it's a hell of a meat event. Appreciate you guys grilling and chilling with the boys. We're out.